There's a small sign near the walking path that clearly states fishing is allowed, following city guidelines. I've lived in this area for over a decade. I've fished there dozens of times. So had other neighbors. That morning, the air was cool, birds were out, and the water was still. I unfolded my chair, poured coffee into my thermos lid, and cast my line. It was quiet. Until it wasn't. I heard footsteps behind me. Fast ones. Purposeful. I turned to see a woman walking toward me with a clipboard, tucked under her arm and sunglasses perched on her head. No greeting, no smile. She stopped a few feet away and said, "You can't do that here." I calmly replied, "Fishing is allowed. It's city property." She frowned like I'd insulted her. "This pond belongs to the HOA," she said sharply, "and fishing is prohibited." I pointed toward the sign across the path. She didn't even look. "I'm on the HOA board," she said, "and I'm telling you to leave." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I simply said, "I understand your concern, but the city owns this pond. The ordinance allows fishing." That's when her tone changed. She crossed her arms and said loudly, "You people always think rules don't apply to you." That caught my attention. I asked calmly, "Is there a specific rule you're referring to?" She didn't answer. Instead, she reached into her pocket. "If you don't leave right now," she said, "I'm calling the police." I nodded. "That's your right." She stepped a few feet away and dialed. She made sure to speak loudly enough for me to hear. "Yes, I need an officer sent out immediately." Pause. "There's a man trespassing at the retention pond." Another pause. "He refuses to leave. He's being confrontational." I stayed seated. She continued, "I don't feel safe. He might have a weapon." That was new. I looked at my tackle box. Inside it, a small fishing knife zipped away. Completely legal, completely unused. But now I understood. This wasn't about fishing. This was about control. She hung up and walked back toward me. "You're in serious trouble," she said confidently. I calmly replied, "We'll let the officer decide." She stood there watching me like she expected me to panic. I didn't. I sipped my coffee and waited. About 10 minutes later, a patrol car rolled into the gravel lot. "Lights off. No urgency." The officer stepped out. Tall, professional, calm. He looked toward me, then froze. His expression shifted. He smiled slightly and said, "Hey, Dad." The woman's face went completely blank. You could hear the wind through the trees. She slowly turned toward the officer. "Dad?" she repeated quietly. The officer nodded. "Yes, ma'am. That's my father." She opened her mouth to speak, then stopped. Her confidence evaporated. "Oh, well, this is just a misunderstanding," she said quickly. "I was just trying to help maintain order." The officer stayed professional. "Ma'am, you reported a trespassing individual who was allegedly aggressive and armed." She laughed nervously. "Well, I didn't mean it like that." He pulled out his tablet. "Let's review the ordinance." He walked over to the sign. "Read it." Pulled up the city map, then addressed both of us. "This pond is city-owned. Fishing is permitted." He turned to her. "Making a false or exaggerated police report is a serious issue." Her clipboard shook slightly. "I just wanted him gone," she muttered. The officer explained everything calmly. No shouting. No humiliation. She received a formal warning. One more call like that could result in a citation. She nodded silently and walked away. No victory speech, no smug smile. Just quiet realization. My son turned back to me. "Sorry about that, Dad." I smiled. "Not your fault." He looked at my line. "Anything biting?" I reeled in slowly. "Not yet." He nodded and said, "Well, enjoy the rest of your morning." As the patrol car drove away, the pond returned to silence. Sometimes karma doesn't shout. Sometimes it arrives calmly, wearing a badge, and leaves just as quietly.